What is up? I'm here tonight with Gravehuffer.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you guys?
Pretty good.
Doing
Alright, so right off the bat, I've got to ask, where did your band name come from?
We just thought it sounded cool, and we there we go. We a friend of ours had a band, I guess, that he was going to start, and he was called it Gravehuffer, and they were like this rockabilly kind of thing, and
But it was a band that they never got to get. I think they had like maybe one practice had like 2 or 3 people there. It wasn't even like a full band. So using the name, and we've been trying to get a name. Like when we had this list that we just kept names on, and then we'd go back and look at them and go, "Man, these all suck." Are you cool? And you look it up, and there'd be like 2 or 3 of them on Facebook. You know, so we're like, "Dude, we're never gonna find a name." And that guy Dozer, who thought of the Gravehuffer, he was like, we're at his house, and he's like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get that band going. He's getting busy with like life, you know. He got married, stuff's happening, and so I said, hey, you're gonna use that band name? And he's like, well, not now. And so I was like, man, let us use it. We'll give you free merch for life. So like anytime we see him, he always heads to the merch table. He's like, I don't have that or that. Yeah, he like gets one of everything.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll throw him a bone here and there for sure. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much it. We just thought it sounded cool after Dozer came up with it, because we used to be called Crom, like from Conan the Barbarian. And Crom, but that only lasted.
I like Gravehuffer better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We got confused with some other bands called Crom. There was a bunch of them.
There are some bands called Chrome that were spelled like that.
Right. Yeah.
So we're just like, dude, we got to change our name.
Yeah.
We had practice one time. This little kid that was outside, we're taking our shit outside, and the little kid goes, "Hey, are you guys a band?" And we said, "Yeah." And he goes, "What's the name of your band?" And we said, "We don't have one right now." He goes, "You should call it Dead Beans." You remember that kid?
I forgot about that.
Dead Beans. That is a good band name.
You should call it Dead Beans.
That's great. So according to your bio, it says you've crafted your sound into an otherworldly amalgamation of crust, punk, metal, grindcore, and unapologetically down-tuned, sludge-laden doom. How the hell did you manage to develop such a eclectic sound?
Well, we all listen to like completely different stuff, and
we're all we're pretty old, you know, like we were playing crust in the 80s, you know. So it was like, I think it's easier for us to pull that out because we've already had that, you know.
Right.
So
yeah,
we just learn more shit. It adds to the stew, you know what I mean? It's like make stew. You're like, hey, these things are carrots. These taste pretty good. Put those carrots in there.
There's some parsley. Let's put that.
That tastes pretty good.
There's some rosemary. Well, not so much of that, you know. And Mike and I, we were in bands like in the 90s, you know, crust punk, hardcore crust punk stuff. And so, yeah, we've been doing it for a long time. And, you know, some of the other guys that we've had in the band have, you know, I'm more of like a metal head, I guess, but I also listen to punk. And Mike's more of a punker, but he also listens to some metal. So it's kind of like
it overlaps a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like pollination or whatever, you know, like this jalapeno is kind of spicy, you know, like we get some good cross pollination going on.
Cross pollination.
So yeah.
So your most recent release, if I'm correct, was Depart from So Much Evil, and it came out like a year ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously been out a little while. How was the reception on it? People like it?
Yeah. It's interesting because that album was one where we kind of really took quite a leap as far as experimenting and stuff. We got one song like 22 minutes, you know, Dante's Divine Comedy. It goes into the 3 parts: Inferno, Purgatory, and Paradise. And we've been wanting to do that for, dude, since late 90s probably. Like Mike had a band where, like, didn't you guys?
That and Metropolis, yeah.
So it's been cooking for a while. That particular stew's been cooking for a while. So yeah, that was I don't know. I felt like everybody dug it. Some people were like really, really into it, and then there's been some people that didn't like it quite as much as like the previous album.
Yeah, we get a lot of that. People said they liked the one before a little better.
Yeah,
you know? It's a little more raw, I guess.
Yeah. And then we've had a few people say, I hope you guys don't take your disclaimer seriously, because we put a disclaimer on it saying this is not necessarily indicative of our direction or whatever. It's an experiment. And we had one particular guy's like, I hope you guys don't. I hope you still keep trying to push the boundaries and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, maybe we won't push them quite so far on the next record. I don't know. We're kind of in the middle of that right now, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I think pushing boundaries is always good.
I think the new songs sound like they go between the last 2 albums.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I think so too.
That's what it sounds like to me. When I listen to it, I'm like, this sounds like it goes before Depart.
Right.
But after
Necro. Yeah.
So it fits in the right spot.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think I don't know, I feel like a band has to almost take that extra step to blow the door wide open for their future, future releases or whatever. There's always that one album. You're like, maybe at first we didn't know what to think of that, like this is our, I don't know, our Into the Pandemonium. Like the part was our Into the Pandemonium.
I wouldn't say that. At least it wasn't Cold Lake.
No, we'll never make a Cold Lake, but no. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Into the Pandemonium was weird. I remember listening to it as a kid and being like, that bah, bah, bah.
I was like the French horn and
this
shit.
This is crazy.
I know,
This is supposed to be a black metal band. Where's the orchestra?
Yeah.
It's like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things on there where you're like, maybe they went a little too far, but I don't feel like we did, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it went too. We didn't take it too much.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We just did all the recording, so we didn't have to really pay for the time. Like we could take as long as we needed, and so that's why we're like, oh, I can hear some cool keyboard parts here. I hear some cool. We have lots of friends that play lots of instruments, so we're really lucky that we can make a call and have a guy that plays like French horn. He's been playing it for like 20 years,
Right.
A guy that plays tuba that plays it at the college orchestra and shit.
Right.
So might as well use them.
Right. Yeah, I had a friend that plays cello, and she did the intro. She did like 5 or 6 different harmonies at the beginning, and it was really cool to do all that stuff. And like for Purgatory, we had this cool thing where we sent we made a post on social media, said send us your screams, and so we had like people from all over the world.
Oh, like 150 screams I had to mix in.
Oh my god!
Coming from over here, and one's from over there, and one's, he's like, got some more screams, and I was like, fuck, man. I said, no more screams, dude.
He had to mix down some of them because it was like making the computer.
Yeah, the computer couldn't handle it all.
Yeah, it was so.
Wow.
It was crazy.
So, what would you say is like the overall message behind that album, if there is one?
It's kind of, we were kind of wanting to make these songs, and we're like, well, the fans might not like it, so we're just thought, well, let's just do it to get it out of our system, to wipe that off your slate, and be like, if people do like it, then they like it. If they don't like it, then wait, we're going to do some more shit,
Right.
It's like, more stuff's coming.
Yeah.
But there's stuff on there. It's like some of the fastest stuff we've done is on that album.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like, oh, they sold out and they did a black album.
Right.
There's some of our fastest shit is on that album.
Right. it's definitely the most eclectic and all over the place, I think. But yeah, like he said, like we have some songs that like the blast beats are like 250 beats a minute, and that's like balls, man. Like our drummer at the time, he's like, that took me quite a few takes to fucking get to that point, you know, without doing like a gravity.
Without being all sloppy about it.
Right. I remember when he sent those drum tracks back for Blueprint for an Early Grave. We're like, God damn, dude, that's badass.
Yeah, because Richard's like, maybe we should make it 200. I go, no way, dude. Crank 250.
He goes 250. We gotta have it at 250 because we had to record it to a click because our drummer lived like 12 hours away, so we had to send him tracks, and we were making a scratch track of guitar for him to play along to, and so yeah, that was I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, that album was written with very different. I don't know.
We kind of had to write it fast.
Yeah,
send
we
it
did.
off.
True.
I hope he gets his parts done fast.
Right.
But these new songs, we got a new drummer that lives near us, so we actually get to like whittle at them and sand this part down, and you know, we're really forging them, and so I think they're sounding pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
they're still raw, but they fit together a little nicer.
Right. Yeah, like I feel like some of the songs go different places a little more and aren't quite so linear, you know. But yeah, some of the songs have all these different parts, but it's not like complicated for the sake of being complicated. It's just
like not progressive.
Yeah, it's not progressive. Yeah, it's just
maybe really dumbed down progressive. Like the simplest form of progression.
Right. Yeah. Because we like that stuff too. You know, we like all that Rush and Yes and Genesis. You know, I mean, that really reared its head on the Depart stuff.
Yeah, we're listening to a lot of old Genesis at that time.
Yeah.
That kind of whatever kind of what we're all listening to does kind of seep in onto the writing sometimes.
Right.
You know? Like we're listening to Dark Throne.
Yeah.
That what year was that?
Old
Star. That year they released Old Star. That Dark Throne album, man. That's that. It didn't leave my stereo in my car for like 5 months. I'd always be jamming and going, man, oh my god, like this is bad.
So good.
Man, that's chuggy ass riffs, man.
That's still one of my favorite Dark Throne albums.
Yeah, that's
really it definitely is in there, and hell, like some of the stuff that I'm writing anyway for this new album. There's some Morbid Angel, there's some Tony Iommi, you know, Black Sabbath, and then for some odd reason there's this like weird Jakey Lee era Ozzy.
Always like riffs,
like sneaking in there.
He got the raw dog.
Yeah, he did, man, and dude, he's one of my favorites. Like his style's so unique, and
The Ultimate Sin. When I was a kid, that album was huge. Dude.
Oh yeah,
on MTV, every time you turn it on. Shot in the Dark or whatever it is. Shot in the Dark?
Yeah, Shot in the Dark.
Yeah, that video was on like every freaking hour, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like now no one even talks about Jakey Lee.
I know.
Like one of my friends had those. You remember those? How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay. Do you remember the painter hats? Have you ever had a painter hat? That's what they call. It's like the little hat. It has these little mud flaps on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean, yeah.
They used to have like metal bands on them. You know, you'd wear them But yeah, my friend had a Jakey Lee painter's hat, had the rising sun on the little flaps.
Really?
Dude. That was
Oh
badass,
my god,
dude.
man!
Yeah.
I would kill for that right now.
Yeah.
Damn.
He wore it all the time too. It's like Jakey Lee, man.
Yeah, his style was awesome. He had these cool like voicings, and his picking was like and that's going on, man. I'm like. Like I wrote this song today, and it's got this. You know, like
He's on Grammy. Maybe we can get him to do a solo.
man, that would be cool. I don't know if he is.
Jakey Lee solo.
Did you hear he got shot?
He got stabbed or something.
He got shot like 3 times.
Oh wow!
He went to the hospital and like it hit him in the shoulder.
Was it like random? It was just some random.
He was walking his dog or something, and somebody was trying to steal something off somebody's porch, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they just started shooting at him.
Wow.
Jeez. He's okay, but still, that's fucked up. Anyway, Jakey Lee.
So I do have to ask. Obviously, the just the format of the album is strange. Like, what made you decide to do, you know, a 22-minute song then a couple of short ones? I've never seen something like that. So,
well, Rush did that with 2112, and that was probably the biggest inspiration as far as like the sequencing or whatever of the record.
Like filling up one whole, because like when we record it, we're like, we time it to fit on an album. So we're like, okay, this song, we know we can put 22 minutes and a little bit of change on one side of an album. So we knew like we had to cut some stuff down, but we got it to fit. And so we're like, okay, so we got one 22-minute long song, but it's going to be, we're like, what do we do with the other side? Because we didn't have anything written yet. And so we're like, we all talked about it. We're like, well, let's write, let's each pick a song and like write it, you know? We helped Travis with his, like he did probably 80% of the writing for Blueprint, right?
Right, yeah.
And I did Cryptid and the Iron Bird. He did the Brainstorm song. The other ones were kind of like...
Yeah, Slayberry was kind of like a mix.
Us working together. And then there's an old cover from one of my old bands in there, that Go Murder, Pray, and Die. It's an old crusty punk thing from the 80s.
So it was like basically we did like solo projects almost or something. It had kind of, like he said earlier, we were kind of in a rush to do it because the label we were on at the time, Black Doomba Records, kind of set us a deadline because like he was saying, we write according to what fits on a vinyl record.
Right.
That was basically why we did it that way. But even if we didn't have a vinyl record, I thought that sequencing worked awesome. Like even on the CD, it really makes a lot of sense, and
does it?
It flows really well, and you know. So yeah, that was pretty much the reason. But Depart From So Much Evil, the Dante thing, was written like shit. It was written almost a year before the other 5.
Yeah, that was the first thing we started working on.
Yeah,
because we knew it was going to be pretty daunting. You know, I don't even know how many tracks there were, like 60 or 70 tracks.
Oh yeah,
you know, stuff.
And by the time we had to get all the people that are recorded their parts and get all that together, and it even has a different drummer on it, and it was probably almost a year just doing that one, writing it and recording it and mixing it.
Didn't Tommy played on that too?
Well, yeah, Tommy played on it.
Who else? Tony.
Yeah,
our friend did a bunch of the orchestrations. But when he gave them to me, they were supposed to go at the end, and I put them in and just to throw them into the session. And I was like eating lunch or something, and then I hit play, and I was like, "Oh, that kind of works right there." And like it all fit. Like the notes are right and everything, so I just left it there. And when Tony heard it, he's like, "Hey, you put that in the wrong spot." And I was like, "Did I?" He's like, hey, "Fuck you."
And then
he's like, "No, it works perfect there."
It does work perfect. Yeah. And then I think Travis came up with the idea of using that to bookend it at the end, because we were just gonna have the song kind of fade out, but then Travis was like, "Why don't we take Tony's orchestration and just have that at the end?" And man, it just barely fit on the record. Like it was pushing. It was close. It was close.
All right, so you're working on a new album now, right?
Yes.
What can you tell me about it?
It's in the early stages yet, still, but there's a lot going on. Like Mike was saying earlier, it kind of sounds like what would come between Necro-Eclosion, or what would come after Necro-Eclosion, the album before Depart From So Much Evil. It's kind of a progression from that record. Seems like it's more like, not more groove in a way. I don't even know if that's the right word, but
it's got that
like there's, I don't know.
It's got like what's that swing function on your drum machine?
Oh yeah,
that makes it a little off.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of has. I don't want to say swing, but
yeah, I feel like it's got these like a lot of 3 counts.
Like the song Gravehuffer has that feel.
Yeah,
you know,
like a lot of like kind of like a waltz feel to some of it, and
yeah, there's a lot of weird counts. But we got like 5 songs I think written.
Oh yeah, easy 5 or 6, I think.
Nice.
Yeah,
something like that. We got it's a lot of the subject matter is like local stuff. Like there's a light out here called the Spook Light that's been around since like the pioneer days. It's like this ghostly light that goes down this road, and like no one's been able to ever figure out what it is. And we're gonna do a song about that. Bonnie and Clyde, like that's where they got the pictures of Bonnie and Clyde, is that they lived here.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, then the cops raided them. There's a shootout, and they killed the cop, and they took off, and the cops found all the pictures of them, and that's how they saw what they really looked like, And let's see, what else are we doing? We're doing a song about animals like taking back over the earth.
Yeah, Mother Nature's revenge, kind of.
Just because of all these little heard about, like monkeys killing shit with machetes, like in the jungle, and
right.
Yeah.
Elephants like killing people that's like poached their babies and stuff like that, and
like the killer whales attacking boats, and
all kinds
all this shit happening. So we're like, man, let's write a song.
Right? Yeah, dude, it's cool.
God, well, that's not creepy at all. The fucking Freddy Krueger poster behind me is glitching through my background.
You ever heard of Ted Williams, the baseball player?
No, I don't think so.
There's a song about him on there. Well,
they like froze his head when he died, like Walt Disney, And so
that's cool.
Head and body they're still frozen.
Yeah, it's still frozen somewhere. His head's still.
It's like in Arizona or something.
Our singer wrote all about that. He's a big baseball nut.
That's cool.
Wrote more about his life rather than like the baseball's a part of it, but he fought in 2 wars, like World War II and Korea, in between playing baseball, and like he was a real interesting guy.
And then there's a prequel to Cryptid and the Iron Bird. It's like the pioneer days of that story.
Yep. First Murder in Space.
There's a First Murder in Space.
Cool.
Yeah. We're like, you got to think of shit that hasn't been done.
Right, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's really thought of that. I guess 2001 Space Odyssey, I guess the computer killer, I don't know how you look at that, but
what the hell was that thing? What was that name?
Space Odyssey.
No, what was the
Hal?
Hal, yeah.
Yeah.
Hal.
Good evening.
Good evening. I haven't watched that in forever. That monolith and all the apes going crazy. Yeah, we write about crazy shit.
That's cool though. It's good to take, like stuff local that's, most people aren't talking about, and it's a good way to just weave yourselves back into it,
Yeah, and we haven't really written about like super local stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of a cool idea. Like, let's try our hand at what happens, And it's
most of our songs, either we dreamed up some crazy shit and wrote about it, or we do some autobiographical, like
like a character.
We've done we did a bunch of World War II songs. We did some songs about the Native Americans. We've covered a whole bunch of bases, man.
Yep. We always try to keep it interesting to ourselves more than anything, because that's whatever inspires us to write is usually what happens. And if other people like it, then that's a bonus.
Yeah. Do you have like a guesstimate when this album might be done?
We're shooting for probably late spring of next year, hopefully. Who knows? A lot of that depend on our drummer. He's having a studio, or he's building a studio on he's got a trailer on his property, and he's already got it gutted and kind of ready to get started moving stuff in. But that's the plan: get the studio up and running, and then track it. And then in the meantime, we're just writing stuff and sending stuff back and forth. And Travis is writing lyrics, in the interim, and we're all we'll try to play some of the new ideas to each other, and in between, rehearsing for a show. So yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, there's a lot of just little things going on to contribute to it.
Do you haven't? Words are hard. Do you have shows booked for next year already?
Yeah, we've got a few. We've got one in Atlanta. That's this Blast Beats and Brews Fest. There's one. Let's see. We're playing a show on the way there in Memphis at Growlers with our really good friends Epoch of Unlight and Death Spiral of Inherited Suffering.
I saw them. They're really good.
Yeah, those guys, both those bands kill. And we got a show in Lawrence in May at the Bottleneck. We might do something in Wichita on the way there, but for right now, we're kind of playing it by ears as far as next year goes. Some of us have some not personal issues, but we're just going to try to keep it more contained within our region and not travel so far. We're really wanting to just get this record done and keep playing shows, but keep them more reined in to where we're not traveling forever, to like Florida, Jersey, and shit like we did this year. So yeah, that's kind of the plan so far. But we've got some shows at the end of this year still to play. Like hell, this next week we're playing with Pyrexia and Narcotic Wasteland in Tulsa, about an hour and a half away. That's going to be really cool. And
nice.
We got a few shows in December too. So we're playing down in Mississippi, a couple shows, and playing a show in Joplin, playing a show in Kansas City, and then that'll wrap it up until April.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. This next question is a little bit off the wall. If you were an animal, what kind would you be and why?
Sasquatch for me.
Why?
Because no one can see me, man. I can hide right in plain view.
Okay.
I can take a dump wherever I want.
Take a dump wherever I want.
They probably grow the best weed you ever saw.
Oh, holy shit. Man. I would probably be some kind of like marine animal or something, like a Greenland shark or something. They live like 400 years, and like they just now not discovered them, but they've been discovered fairly recently, and they've been around for fucking how long? Like who knows? So it kind of goes back to the Sasquatch thing, where like nobody knows where the fuck they are or what they do. Yeah, I kind of dig it, and I like water. I think it'd be cool, man. I think it'd be cool to be a water
Sasquatch.
A water Sasquatch. Yeah,
water
man.
Sasquatch.
Yeah. Like shaved down so I can swim fast. What is that thing? It's a bald Sasquatch.
It's a bald. Got these weird gills, man.
Nice.
Easy looking, those Greenland sharks. They're fucking weird. Have you seen them? Yeah, they look weird. They look like fucking. They look like a shark that's like a corpse of a shark. Like
what the hell? I just looked it up. Yeah, that's what they look like.
It's a zombie shark. Yeah, like they're cool.
I gotta do this for anyone watching. What the frick is this shit?
Did you find it? Shark?
Yeah. What on earth?
They're crazy.
They do. They look like they're dead.
Yeah, they do. They look like they're dead. They look fucking.
Maybe things don't hunt them.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're pretty. They're pretty far. They're deep water, like really deep water sharks.
Like other things are probably like, man, that thing's gonna give me the shits. I'm not. What's the matter, Bob? Oh, I ate one of those Greenland sharks. Greenland. Don't eat one of those.
That's hilarious.
All right. Real quick, I'm going to just say that next week on Thursday, I've got Dual Analog coming back on the show to talk about their new album. All right. Absolutely. So, what message do you have for anybody who watches this?
Well, man, we appreciate you having us, and check us out on Bandcamp. That's where that's our one-stop shop, gravehuffer.bandcamp.com. You can get music. You can get physical copies of everything. You can get merch, shirts, all that stuff. All the links to all of our other sites are there as well. And plus our show dates are there too. So there you go.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody's time. You know, if no one supported it, then, you know, it's all one big machine that makes it all go. You know?
Right.
So
yeah.
it takes everybody, man.
It really does.
We appreciate your hard work, man.
Yes, sir. Any kind of, anytime, like for instance, you hit us up for an interview. And so
actually,
that's
you
always...
hit me up, but
oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
What an asshole. She's an asshole.
But yeah, I mean, anytime we get people that want to talk to us about our silly, crazy songs and music and whatever we do, and anytime it's interesting to people, it's just like I said, it's a bonus, you know, because we're geeks and we love doing this shit. And if other people like it, then that's even better, man. Like, it's kind of not pointless, but I like creating. I like creating because I like to share. You know, I like to share it. So
yeah, like we're writing shit we want to hear.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
And if you want to, you're welcome to hang out off the air. But either way, yeah, thanks for coming on. And I look forward to when your new album's, you know, out and I can check it out.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks again for your time.
We appreciate you,
no
man.
problem.
You take care.
You too.